it was so amazing because it wasn't planned, but I was in the CRC and they had a rebuild group at the time. And they were just starting it, and they were having some engineering issues on some of the things that they were doing. And part of the issues they were having was with some of the teach pendants, the things you use to control robots that you hold in your hand. So I figured, what the heck? Let's put some of my education to use. And it was a great learning experience about what I actually learned in school and how the real world worked. And I was able to solve some of the problems. So one of the guys in the CRC, one of the higher ups, decided, well, why don't we do this all the time? Instead of Steve did it once, let's make this as a department and do it all the time. So we started retrofitting these teach pendants, which turned into, a year and a half later, a full-blown electronics repair lab at Fanuc.
Nice.
Because they didn't have that at the time.
Nice.
And believe me, it wasn't because I was all that smart. It was because it was just because the willingness, number one, and probably a little bit of not knowing any better, not being afraid to take on anything.
Right.
And then just a heck of a lot of motivation, just the willingness to, boy, this is what I really want to do. This is an opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like, especially during that time period, like electronic repair was like a really huge part of like industry. And like today's age is a little bit more of like just replace it with a new board type of situation. You know? Then it was like repair anything and everything you can.
Yeah. Well, nowadays I call a lot of the electronics I see, I just call them black boxes because you can't fix them.
Yeah.
Like you said, you just replace them. But yeah, this would have been right around 96, 97.
Gotcha.
So there was still a lot of discrete components on the board you could replace.
Yeah.
And bring things back alive. So we did a lot of that back there. And that was my ticket into engineering because that's what got me noticed. And I got to work when I was in the component repair department after it was going for a little while, I got to work with on a couple projects, project builds with the engineers upstairs. And working on those projects, they had a little experience with me. So that way, when I started suggesting that I wanted to come up to engineering, it was easy to make that transformation. And yeah, that's how I ended. That's the short version of that whole situation, I guess. Yeah.
Well, so whenever they put you into engineering, what type of engineering did you go into? Were you doing programming?
Still electronics.
Electronics, okay.
Yeah, my first job up in the electronics are on the controller side in engineering was troubleshooting.